that I have actually asked you. He'll read that and go, yeah, you probably have just said. No, he is, yeah. He's a good player as well. Or was a good player. Right. How are we?
3 weeks in the making, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
Right, we've all got, I think, a checklist, so we'll just...
Okay, go.
Well, how the last 3 weeks been? Has that been a frustrating thing? Did you have back-to-back wins going into it, or has it been good to kind of gather as few truths you have here? About the way forward?
Yeah, I think a mixture. I think good results, as you suggest, going into a break. An odd break with obviously the first week, not so much the international week, that's obviously in the planner for a long time, but the first week was a bit, how do you find the balance between enough work, enough rest, knowing that they're going to get another rest, well, not all, obviously. It was good for the international players. You managed to get them an extra day or two off, which is unusual. Obviously, they're normally away. So then the following week, as we know, they went away on their internationals. So we found that balance was good, give them a bit of time. And then just really, the first few days a bit quiet and the players probably feeling a bit odd. Last week, good few days, and then the internationals, then a few days off. And then this week, the group comes back together. And today there was a nice feel about it, actually. It was like, all the internationals come back with the main group. Everyone's training, everyone's ready for the next game and ready for the last phase of the season. So, good feel about it today, that's for sure.
But I think that growing exodus of players probably shows that you're changing people's minds and perceptions about them.
Well, with the internationals, you mean? Yeah, well, I think the numbers are good. The increase in numbers. Obviously, as an Englishman, I'm proud that players are getting called up for England. But I think the numbers have been good for a while now. And I think that's another one of the markers for the squad, is the quality of the squad continues to raise, whether we're actively trying to bring players in who are already internationals, like Stephen Defoe, etc., or our own players are developing into internationals. And I think the mixture is healthy.
Have they all come back okay?
Yeah, just bits and bobs. There's a couple we were careful with today. Just Johan got a knock, but he was out there today, so I think he'll be fine.
As a proud Englishman, and how impressed were you with James Tarkowski playing?
Yeah, good. Really pleased. I don't think it's easy anyway to play for England. I don't think it's easy to play for your debut at home. I don't think it's easy to then play in a 3, and I don't think it's easy to play left of a 3. And I thought when you had all that in with a new group, etc., I thought he very good, very good. He's nice and calm. Played steady, organised when he needed to do, done the basics very well, and just kind of kept his simplicity and did that well. There's more to come from him, I believe, both for us and for possibly if Gareth used him. But I think he's a very good player.
I was going to say, how do you think it might work out in the shake-up?
We'll see. I mean, I know how hard it is to pick a team, and I know not like they're recruiting, but they are a sort of. They're looking at who's on form, who could they get in, who can they use, who can go in the squad. So it's a version of it. That's what we have to do in club management. I think he's got a chance, but we'll wait and see. And Popey, fantastic for Popey. Both their stories, but particularly Popey to come in, late. I've been really pleased with how we've handled him actually, and how he's accepted it, because that's the key to it. How the players accept our handling of them and what we think is good for them. And I think Popey he stayed clear-minded with the group he was working with last season when he wasn't involved at all, but we did assure him that he was growing into what we do. At the end of last season, we used him on the bench and he got a feel of it. And then this season, when he was called upon, he's been ready and has delivered very well. So, a different story, but similar as Tarky in a different way.
And in terms of James, the VAR thing doesn't really affect him at all, is it really?
No, I think I'm all for VAR, by the way. I personally felt he probably misread it a little bit, because I think the way that it's used and how people have got to look at using it, I personally think, and I think it'll be really good for referees actually to learn how players move differently, because Tarky didn't break his gait at all. The opposing player did. His right foot goes out to the right, unnatural position, he's already going down. I think that's where it can be really used well. But when it's in the early days, I've said many times, there's going to be things that are grey. There's going to be moments of still, even with VAR, when people are unsure. But overall, the idea is that the amount of decisions that are correct will improve. So I think that's what it's there for.
You're right, we're trying to read kind of Southgate's mind, but in terms of Nick not playing, can you do enough in training to impress a manager to think he wants to be one of my 3?
I think he certainly put, if anything, a seed of doubt. If the manager, the opposite way, if the manager is thinking, no, I'm not sure, and then you go, actually, you work with someone and you go, actually, they're a really good player, and sometimes better than you think. So maybe it's that. I don't know. I mean, I get on with Gareth, and he always accepts my call. Likewise, me to him. But I never really. I give them a fair assessment, I think, on what the players are, what they're doing for us. But I never go into the world of picking a team, picking a squad for him, because I think that's very, very difficult. It's difficult for all of us, but I think it's definitely difficult when you're the England manager.
But you've got players there also knocking on the door as well. That's the thing, Jack Corker.
Yeah, Corky, yeah, I thought he was a bit unlucky to not be in and around it. Ben equally for different reasons, obviously different position. I think good signs again. But I do think the overriding thing, I think Gareth seems to me, well, I know he's his own man, and he's picking players on what he thinks. He's not looking, I think maybe in the past it was kind of looking to the top end of the club market, and now I think he's just looking at players and going, look, whether at Burnley or not, the fact is they're good players and they're playing well. And I think that's a good thing, for clubs like us. And I think it's a powerful thing. I think players believe more. They think, yeah, okay, I can get picked by this manager, and I can do it while I'm at Burnley Football Club, so it works well for us.
Does it also reflect the fact that middle chunk of the Premier League is stronger than they've ever been?
I don't know. I think that's... Yeah, you could argue the other way, though, that the top six are stronger this year. So, I think that's a debate point. I don't think I've been in the Premier League. I think I'm getting longer in the tooth in it, but not enough seasons. If you ask some of the managers who've been in it 10 years, then they might have a bigger viewpoint on it, what kind of season it is against the other seasons. It's our third out of four, so we're still learning a little bit about it.
Goalkeepers are an interesting thing for you. You've got two very good goalkeepers that are now both fit. One is the captain of the football club, one is playing in goal.
Well, I think I've got four, actually, but the two that you'll speak about, obviously.
So what's your thinking in terms of the process going forward with obviously Tim being fit, but Tom being...
I was going to say, unless we've signed Tim, is that his cousin or someone? All right, Tim Heaton. Yeah, he's good keeper apparently. He's got really safe hands.
Tim Houghton,
I think the reality is that there's a good competition, a good competitive element, to our goalkeepers as a department. I felt that last year, and I felt, as I've suggested in this interview, I felt that brought Popey along with Robbo and Tom particularly. Great experience, great keepers, rubbing off, adding to what he is. Now it's reversed with Popey having the shirt and then Tom coming back to fitness, but still a real good competitive element there. And Tom's really close now, close to getting back involved. And I spoke to him in the week about it, and being almost overly assured that he's right. But he's going really well at the moment and he's feeling really good. So, but they're the challenges you want as a manager. That's why you bring these players here, You don't bring them to the club just for an easy ride. No manager brings players in and then goes, I only brought him in because it'd be easier for me to pick the other one. You bring him in because you want that competitive element. And I certainly want it here. I want to be put in a position where I have to choose and choose wisely because they're performing so well. And I think we will have that.
You've got two players playing, you've got two, maybe three players playing for...
Well, certainly the idea we wanted was to build a squad that had competitive elements all around it. So at least two people in each position who we felt were of first team quality. Then ideally backed by younger players who were pushing. And we've more or less done that. We're still a little bit light, but in centre half, wide areas, and for different reasons, injury, etc. But I think we've done that pretty well over the season, and still adaptable, still players who can shift a position and still perform. And I think for a squad like ours and a club like ours, that's it's hard to find, but that is the what we're trying to achieve. And I think we've done that pretty well this season.
Does the dynamic change from the practice pitch between the two keepers, though?
In what respect?
In the sense that one was the person hoping for the gloves, and one had the gloves, and that's changed all the way around.
No. I think it's different. No, I think it's different when you've been injured. It's a different thing, a different concept, because your first goal is to get fit. And I made that clear to Tom. Don't worry about anything else other than getting yourself absolutely 100% fit, which he's doing. I think it's different if they're competing in the sense of which one you choose, loss of form or great form, etc., etc. Different kind of element to it then. But when one's been injured for a long time and coming back, I think the competitive element is there, but it's a different kind of thing. There's a respecting goalkeepers world, if you like, the goalkeepers union, where they understand that kind of element.
And in terms of Tom's injury, is that fixed?
Yeah, he's in good shape. Yeah, and he's really pleased with it at the minute. I spoke to him just yesterday, and he's really, really pleased with how it's feeling. Very active in the literal world of goalkeeping, and doing very well.
How tough a game is West Brom? Bearing in mind, I think that's been a difficult place to go the last few years.
Yeah, it has. And really, it's for us to turn that around. And I think we're in good shape to do so. But they're still a good side. I look on paper, and I think there's a good side there. I think they're a sign of how tough the Premier League is, because I look at their group and I think that's a good group. Very experienced manager, very good club recognised in the Premier League and having a real tough time. And that is, it's really difficult, the Premier League, you know, and every division is difficult. I mean, I could equally have been here a few years ago saying about the Championship and how difficult the Championship, and it is. But it's so cutthroat, the Premier League. You know, you can be going along nicely as we were, and then you have a real tough run. And if that tough run's at the wrong time or the wrong stage of the season, as in where you are positionally, it can really knock you. And even experienced players, they've got a very experienced group. But even they're having a tough challenge at the moment. So we have to go in clear-minded that they'll be fighting without a shadow of a doubt. And we've got to make sure that we perform because we still want to finish our season strong and continue to get points on the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, the back-to-back wins kind of points to that, and I guess Europe's an incentive, isn't it?
I think the bigger incentive is to keep building, keep moving forward as a team. I suggested even during the run that we had, which was an awkward run, I did say that I think performance-wise we are moving forward and we continue to do so. And then I said it's important to show that on the league table. Well, we have done compared to last season. So now it's how far can we take it? There's still every game as it comes. It's still the one-game mentality. You know, the next game's the most important one.
Have you kind of worked out over the last couple of seasons when you had more internationals, how you can respond to an international break? And have you got that kind of almost statistic?
I don't think we overthink it because the players generally, we've made sense of it and done well out of it. You know, the players have come back in good shape. They've been ready and motivated to go and ready to play. So all we do is monitoring, or the hardest part is monitoring what they've done while they're away and then what we do and how we work on that kind of idea of rest, recuperation and the fitness work involved, you know. That's probably the most tricky part. But most of the nations we do are very open. You know, they give us the information. Likewise, we give them the information when they go of what we do. But no, I think we've come out of international breaks pretty strong overall as regards performances. I'm not sure on the facts of the results actually, but I'll have to check that one out.
At the risk of derailing it further, Joshua Parker, any thought whatsoever about boxing? I know they're laughing, but it's a big fight. And
I honestly, I have no. Apart from the respect I have for boxing, I have no clue about boxing. No, I don't really know much about boxing. Wrestling, I'm good at, as you'll know. You know, obviously, you know, one of my lookalikes. So yeah, so I'm big on wrestling. Really good at wrestling. Know a lot about wrestling. Okay. Okay. Well, I hope the winner is worthy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay. Cameras off then, please.